What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangle. This is your boy D.
And it's your girl CJ.
And it's Brandi. I'm not feeling it, so you're gonna get what you get tonight.
But will Auntie Momo be okay with that? Will Auntie Momo be okay with that? Just saying. She went in on them girls talking about those bonnets and shit out in public and whatever. But
my bonnet is cute. Okay, first of all, this is silk. And it's
okay,
a really pretty pattern. It came with a scrunchie with the same pattern because apparently scrunchies are like back in full effect.
They are.
Couldn't have told me scrunchies were gonna make a comeback, but like,
man, had you told me that shit, I'd have been like, yeah, these ugly stretchy things, and now they're making them fancy, like in velvet.
And I've seen like really cute ones, like little rhinestones on them. And
that's totally my scrunchie. You know it.
You know it,
Chloe.
Come on.
Remember that shit?
Commercials, those AFES commercials.
Oh my god, it was so terrible.
Military brat shit.
Not military brat shit. Anywho, today we're talking about one of the most notorious performance artists. That's quote unquote. No. Disclaimer. I can't even go 3 minutes into the episode with a disclaimer. I can't. We don't own the music or the songs to that. Just so you guys are aware. How terrible. Jesus
we have to
Christ.
Sing to stay alive.
What does that even mean? I don't even understand what
the fact that you don't know, that's why you don't be singing with us.
You don't have to ask.
And if you have to ask,
you'll never know.
You'll never know.
I don't even know who you guys are anymore. This is ridiculous.
Shout out to Angelica Pickles.
Anyways, what I was trying to get at is our topic today for the Triangle is the occult artist is what I call her. She just says she's a performance artist, whatever. We'll get into it. Her name is Marina Abramovic. I think a lot of people who, if you're into like studying occult things or just even like witchy things, just weird conspiracies about Hollywood and, and the biggest one probably was like when the Hillary Clinton emails started out in 2014, 15.
I will say that was probably
when everybody learned about.
Everybody started paying attention to her.
Yeah.
But when that came out, I remembered seeing her in a Jay-Z video.
Yes, I was wondering. I was just about to ask that.
Yes.
Yeah. She was in a video because they were doing their little dance, and I think because she's like a performance artist, so that's a big thing of her. She does actual paintings as well, which we'll show throughout this episode. Because to me, they're a bit much.
A bit much, bitch. That's a lot much. I was like, what is all
even
of this shit?
The photo shoots she chooses to do are interesting to me because if I was somebody that did not want people to think that I was associated with a certain religion or practice or what have you, I wouldn't do anything alluding to that. I wouldn't even try to have it be tongue-in-cheek because it's so easy for people to take it out of context. So
I mean, especially now because people are, getting woke and all this other stuff too. So I would think that people reaching out to different energies and getting more spiritual or whatever have you, they're looking into all of the things people are doing. So one of the biggest thing is like the article you sent. I didn't know this, but I guess Microsoft this year tried to put out a commercial with her in it.
Yeah, I had to share that.
And they tried to release it on Good Friday earlier this year. I need to find the video. They took it off, obviously. They set it to private, so no, and they're trying to scrub the internet to get rid of this campaign completely.
And their goal for it was to reach, I think it said like 70 million people.
70 million people. No, the 70 million people is her art performance thing.
Okay.
So the commercial was literally just for everyone, like across the globe. So even more people than 70. That's like billions of people.
And just because I have it up, just sharing a picture from some of her performance art. She does the most.
Not the most.
So if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll be able to see this lovely.
Yeah, and that's kind of on the tame side with her neck being wrapped around with a snake. Like there's some serious shit that I've seen over the years when I was like looking into the things that she does. You know what I'm saying? Yes, D, I know you look like you.
Is she the one that in her earlier days was completely naked in that room and people were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do to her for like a few hours?
Possibly. Maybe that
I'd
was
have to
her.
double check that, but
Yeah,
I
I do
think
too.
like her initial claim to fame, well, this says 1980. I don't know if it was exactly then, but she did this for, I want to say, oof, maybe an hour or over that, and that's a real like guy
Yeah.
holding a bow and arrow. She definitely pushes the envelope when it comes to her performance art. I think the only one that I could kind of get with was when she had like a former lovers sit across each other at a table and just eye, contact, and that was the art. Now I've seen that work when counselors are trying
Yeah, I
to
was
get
just gonna say
couples to
therapy
reconnect.
work does
So
things like that.
that's therapy work. So I'm like, I can get with that. But some of the other things and how in her relation to the spirit cooking she threw out
Oh
there,
God.
I can't get with that, especially when we're a show that definitely believes lots of celebrities and politicians are all practicing and in bed together with all of this occult worship
Right.
stuff. And when you're having parties like they used to do, I want to say maybe the early 2000s, and when it started to become popular again, where they were having the models lay down and have them have the flute on them. And
Oh yeah, that's literally spirit cooking that they were doing there.
I remember being in Hollywood at a club, and they had that going on, like up in the VIP. I didn't have access to it,
right?
But where people were at, you could like see the models laying down, and they were eating sushi off of it. But I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm not okay with it.
It was weird.
It's very disturbing because a lot of people who probably attend these things that are not in the higher ranking of knowing why they're doing it, are probably like enjoying it as like just art. You know what I mean? Not knowing that there's possibilities of them taking their energies just because they joined the fucking party.
I just think because we're so open now, to what could possibly be out there, and we're still reasonable, rational people. We're not so far gone where I believe every politician is a lizard person.
Oh, they're not?
I'm like, there's some stuff that I can't buy.
No, of course not.
Or like that episode of Family Guy when Tyra Banks was yelling and she just turns into like an iguana.
Yes.
And she just ran off. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. But I definitely believe that the higher you climb in certain social circles, you are going to see some stuff that they view as normal and that you're going to have to act like you're cool with, or else people are going to be looking at you like,
what are you doing here if you don't understand? Like, the craziest thing for me is that there's plenty of famous people who align themselves with her is my thing. Like you just mentioned her being in Jay-Z's like video. Can you imagine if people actually saw and knew what she was into and had then seen Jay-Z's music video, the uprising? Because like if you think about it, the majority of people who listen to Jay-Z, not anymore, but back then was like mostly Black people, right? So that being said, and we being church folks and stuff for the most part, like if you had like look at what happened with Nas X is basically it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like his stuff is just as crazy visually. Hers is more like a underlining, like is it or is it not? But it's complete for sure there. Yeah, for the people who understand.
If you don't do the research, you don't know who she is, and you just figure, okay, you're a performance artist, whatever. And then, like you said, when you see the ties to, Lady Gaga and her early career and the stuff that she's creating, it does have a sinister tone to it. And this isn't us coming from a standpoint where we're believing, every rock star and rapper and this, that, and the other is the devil music or what have you. But some of these things are said for a reason. Some stuff you hear over and over again, it's not just coincidence.
With that said, what you said about like, we all know the story of Lucifer being the overseer of music, right? And all of that. Like, I was just watching a Japanese show the other day at my mom's, and it was like it was a contest where you have to like sing the refrain portion of different songs you get to pick. And if you get to level 10, you get like $100,000. That's your prize, right? So everybody's going through it. But in the background was all demons, like the Japanese Oni demons. and
Oh,
it's the same thing, even though we culturally call it differently. And it just like got me thinking, because once again, once you realize what symbolism is, it's across the board, same
mm,
thing, different words, right? So to me, that it was a music program that gave out money, had people hooked. I was hooked. I was watching it, and then I noticed it. And then I was like, "Oh no, what am I watching?" Because every time that like the top three, they would use the three fingers and beyond, like the devil fingers on the show, and I was like, "What are they doing? Like, I don't know. I don't understand what they're doing." So what does that? What does the demons have to do with that music show though? Nothing. Like
well,
they
yeah, nothing
right,
to us.
right. If
Yeah,
you
to us, yeah.
logically think about it, why would you want demons in the background while you're singing refrains from pop songs? Do you see what I'm saying? It's not
Because they
even
can
like
see.
a heavy metal show that would make sense that they had that type of like scenery in the background. No, no, no. We're singing K-pop, J-pop, and shit like that. Like it, to me, it doesn't make sense for them to take that theme and include it into a pop show.
No,
Like,
not at all. But I think
right?
you hit the nail on the head when you said pay attention to symbolism. And I think
Right.
that's what opened my mind up to say, hey, there could be spiritually something sinister going on with these people that have control over what we see and eat and have access to, when you start to see the same symbolism over and over and over again.
Right.
But there's no explanation behind it.
Kind
That
of like a few years ago on the
mhm,
VMAs. It was,
yeah.
I want to say about 7 years ago. And Jack Black literally praised Satan
Uh-huh.
in front of like everybody. Everybody thought it was a joke.
Right.
But it was like, I was kind of like, what the fuck just happened right now? He was
Right.
like,
And
hell S. And yeah.
well, the reason his came off like a joke is because he has been doing, Tenacious D, the band, with him
Mhm.
as his friend. And have you seen his
That's
movie
with
with,
Jack Black and them, right?
yeah, Jack
Yeah.
Black and his little singing partner? So
Mhm.
he has a movie where what's his face? Is it David Grohl is the Satan in the movie too? He you can't tell, but he's dressed as Satan in the movie. But they're all like in this thing where, to me, David Grohl may have sacrificed Kurt Cobain to get the Foo Fighters going. To me, that's just me. I'll still listen to it because I love music. But
Yes,
like in the
later.
back of your head, being aware of where it came from, I feel like makes a difference. You know what I mean? So you can like know what's happening there. But in that movie, he's interacting with Satan and they become friends basically at the end, because he defeats Satan with this pick of destiny. That's the title, pick of
Ah, I
destiny,
remember hearing about that.
Tenacious D. And so if you like really watch that movie, it's really crazy. There's a lot of symbolism in it itself. Like rewatch it. It's a fucking comedy, but then when you start realizing what's happening, it's not so funny anymore.
I mean, I don't find there's just certain stuff I just don't find funny. And even when Marina came out with her spirit cooking book, and you're reading it, and it's supposed to not be taken seriously for those that just look at it surface level.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, not when you really believe in the occult practices that the
Right.
elite are doing. They're taking this pretty seriously.
And then, and then to be able to be part of that, and they actually go. So there was like that picture of Lady Gaga at an event in 2013 at the Watermill Center, where there's like a person pretending to be a fake dead person floating in what looks like a pool of blood. And people are like, oh, it's just chocolate, it's just whatever. It doesn't matter what it just is. Even if it's edible, the whole thing is intent behind what you're doing, right?
The fact that it's edible makes it a little more creepy anyway.
I know. I mean,
Just
but
that-
so technically, I think if it was behind closed doors, they may have used real blood. To me, I feel like
Yeah.
that makes sense. You know what I mean? But because it was a public showing, instead of it being blood, it was, maybe chocolate syrup or whatever. They mix, corn syrup to make it look like that. But the whole event was called Devil's Heaven.
Pass.
Ma'am, sir.
Hard pass.
Hard pass, right?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. You really just can't make this shit up, seriously. Or just, them having like Blondie Debbie Harry's fucking body made into a cake. They did something similar like that recently this year too with some other guy who
I
was
do
an
not
actor.
understand the body cake situation. I don't even like dick cakes, let alone
Well,
whole body cakes.
yeah, and then you look into some of these events and parties that they have. I gotta find this video. There is a video. I may have saved it on our Instagram, but there's a kid who's like super traumatized because he said he was tied up and made to eat somebody else's flesh at this dinner.
The
And
fuck?
yeah, and I'm just like, it's shit like that. And what does a 5, 6-year-old have to lie about? Something like that. That's something that a kid that age shouldn't know about. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Like, maybe people be like, maybe he saw it in a movie, possibly, but what fucking parent in their right mind would want their child to watch something like that? You know what I'm saying? So to me, it doesn't really make sense that he would just sit there and like make up the shit at all. But as far as like I'm concerned with her, like the fact that she says that when you do all of these things, it's performance art when you do it in public, but then it's a ritual when you do it privately at somebody's home. So that tells me she knows the difference between like doing that event where Lady Gaga showed up and it's a pool of chocolate. That's why it makes me think that when they do it behind closed doors, they probably don't use chocolate.
Well,
The what now?
spoiler alert.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that it doesn't make sense to me that people don't understand that either. Like, what
I
else
think
do you
it's
need?
too much to try to believe, and when you think about how much people go through in their individual lives,
Mm-hmm.
to believe the stuff that we believe outside of the drama and trauma of your individual life is
Yes.
probably too much for people's psyche. Like, even having a discussion with people as simple as, I don't believe we choose our president, that just blows people's fucking
Oh
mind.
yeah, they're like,
They are
what?
just
We
like, no
voted.
way, American way, every vote counts, get out there. And I'm like, so you're telling me you don't believe that there's just a possibility? Like, that's how much faith you have in our system. Because let me tell you, I don't have that faith. I am always surprised when people go hard about that, especially people of color.
Yeah.
Especially what I consider intelligent people of color just going that hard. And I say this as a person who still votes, but I'm also like,
There's people don't realize it until it starts impacting them, right? So, for example, like knowing that a lot of people still don't understand that the votes that they do are popularity votes, basically, and it's not the actual vote that votes the president. That was a lot of words there just to say that, but it's not the actual votes that count towards the presidency's election. Like, hopefully you voted a certain way to make sure that your representative votes the way you want him to vote or her to vote, right? But it doesn't always go that way, and that's why there's discrepancies sometimes in what your state may have chosen to vote red or blue, but then your fucking senator is like, oh, they said blue, but we're gonna go with red because I have constituents that paid me more.
listen,
you know what I mean?
Depending on what it is, I'm like, Governor DeWine, what are we doing?
Right.
What
And
are we doing? There's another picture of some of her performance art stuff, which
yeah,
like,
see,
why?
yeah.
Or
So
why?
I want to make a distinction on that. When people see pentagrams, they think everything is evil. It's not. See the way yours was, the picture.
Wait, tilted?
Yeah. Can you put it back up? I don't know if you
Oh
can.
yeah, hold on. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Because a lot of people see pentacles and they're like, oh no, absolutely not. And I'm like, no, no, no. You must understand that it's not the same thing for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So like, see how the 2 star points are up? That is, yeah, those are like more related to Satanism and like the occult stuff that are like on the darker side. It's Baphomet's like symbolism, right? Now, when it's upside down and the 1 star point is upright, is usually what witches use. It's different. Now, if you're on the darker side, you probably use this 2.1 up top. That's like scary though, looking at her stuff.
I say stay away from all that shit because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing and give
me. So for me, there's a rule in my house. You guys know I'm a light witch, a green witch, a kitchen witch. So there are no pentacles allowed in my fucking house. Period. Like, there's like, you don't say certain things in here. You don't bring certain symbolic things in my house. We don't even do crosses in my house. Now, I do wear Ankhs. I don't know if you can, this is my favorite thing
Those
right
are
now.
her signature.
That, and then I just got this. Needed a little extra protection over the course of the week.
Did you get that at the store? You was
This,
telling me you was at?
yeah, this was at the one of the second stores. So that second little metaphysical store I go to have different vendors of different spiritualities, and there's one section that's Kemetic. So they have all the
Okay.
I know
African.
that's right.
I
Yes.
know that's right.
So I got this necklace from that section too. I was actually getting ready to give up on finding a silver one when it was actually hidden. And I was like, what's on the end of this? And I pulled it up and it was a silver fucking Ankh. And I was like, well, it's for me, I guess, today.
I was gonna say it was for you, sis.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I was like, let's go. But we only have a few seconds left before we have to take a break. So I really do want to talk about one of the things I saw on one of the walls that she was writing when she was doing one of her performance arts from a while ago. So we shall be right back.
And we're back.
Hey, so what I was saying, I wanted to show this to you guys. Let me turn this down because I took a screenshot of one of the videos that I was watching. And let me see if I can like make it a little bigger. There we go.
First of all, give us a heads up about what we're about to see so I can make sure I want to see it.
Okay, yeah, it's not it's not anything gross. This is from one of her performance arts where she had like I think coagulated blood in a jug and she was painting on the walls, and she had these weird voodoo looking dolls in each corner of the room on top of it. This is one of the walls, but this caught my eye where it says fresh morning urine sprinkle over nightmare dreams. So
why does that sound like one of the cards overseas we used to look at?
No, is it too bright?
You have to lower your brightness.
I thought I did. It's still just like, there we go.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
So fresh morning urine sprinkle over nightmare dreams. Now here's what caught my eye. In witchcraft, you use your own urine to seal deals and do other shit. Sometimes other people's urine too, right?
To seal deals, like
just whatever.
Sorry, the way he said it.
To seal deals. He's like, what kind of deals? Though? Well, what kind of deals we talk about? No, like so it's usually used.
Somebody for money on some
no,
shit.
That's a different kind. That's an OnlyFans kind of thing.
R. Kelly stealing all the deals.
You're trying to sell that kind of deal.
No, this one is like, so the urine thing is they use it to do spell work, basically, is what it is. And what caught me is in nightmare dreams, they use urine to like enhance certain types of nightmare dream spells. Do you see what I'm saying? And I didn't catch that when I first saw this years ago, but now that I'm back into learning about herbs and like, green witchery and things like that.
So do they go with pee because people typically, when they're not scared, they pee themselves? Like, what is that about?
No, I think the pee just has to do with the fact that the content of urine has very tough chemicals in it, like ammonia and things like that.
I mean, it's acid.
Yeah, it is. So the other thing people have to remember is intent behind the items. So for example, there's like a spell that you can do with garlic for spell binding, I guess to have people not do harm to you. And one of them is called like making Solomon's hand. And you take 5 garlic cloves, string them together, and they kind of look like a little tiny hand.
Not you knowing all the spells.
Don't fuck with CJ. I'm just saying. So there's like different things that you do. So it's the same thing with the urine, and so there's like this herb called I think henbane. And witches used to use it. And I think this is where like the witches take flight came from, because henbane causes people to hallucinate a lot of time. And it gives you a sensation of flight. And it's an herb. It's a poisonous herb, actually. So they don't actually sell it everywhere. You can probably buy it online, but they come with a warning type of deal. You know what I mean? So, but people back in the day would put this in their, spell work. They would put it in like, whatever liquids they're trying to give people, and they said that that would help them astral project as well, which is where I think what the flight of witches really actually comes from. I don't think they were actually flying around on.
I think bitches was really flying. I'm sorry, because we talked about this with dragons. Ain't no fucking way people just look up in the sky and they make up something like a goddamn dragon.
Well, maybe
I know they were having their like teas with the drugs in it.
I'm sure. She said, "No, these bitches was flying."
Some of them were flying.
I don't put it past it. I feel like there may be,
or maybe a float. Maybe
that's what I'm saying. The bitches was floating.
Maybe it wasn't a full on type shit. Yeah, but maybe it wasn't a full on Superman.
Or, you know, if they some people they claim to have interdimensional capabilities where they can go from one dimension to another. So if that's the case, they might be able to go from one location in the
like
world.
A teleporting.
That's what I mean. So like, and things like that have occurred without people trying. Like I've read stories, like I like reading weird stories, like true stories of this guy, like he got his mom, took her on vacation to where he was at. So he flew her out because she was by herself in another whole nother state. Flew out by her son to a whole nother state, and she enjoyed her time. He put her on the plane. She went home. Oh God, I'm getting goosebumps. Then the next morning, she woke up in her son's apartment again after she went home, because she missed him so much after seeing him for like a week, and I'm guessing wanted to be back there with him.
Now I know you said that story was true, but how do you know? Were you there?
Yes, actually.
Did you teleport with the gentleman?
I heard another one like that where this dude, and this happened like I want to say in the 1600s. There was this Spaniard guy in Mexico City. And this motherfucker teleported to the Philippines.
Yeah, so there's like too many stories, like, and it's just like for, when you say like, how do you know? Like, I feel like it's a dumbass thing to lie about.
Oh no, I only asked.
You know what? I know
what somebody would do.
Oh, like, of course. But I just felt like when I read that and like listening to the guy, I was like, it would be such a dumb thing to lie about, because it wasn't like the bitch you were fucking that showed up at your house again. It was just your mom.
Like, in the stuff that we've seen, it's kind of like when you've seen entities, you've seen stuff move that you didn't touch, and all type. Niggas teleporting ain't a hard sell for me. It's not a hard sell. It's very little where I'm just like, I don't believe that. I'm like, that's very possible.
Right? That's why I'm saying I don't feel like all these people would lie for no reason. I really don't. I just don't feel like there's a reason for them to lie like that. And it's the same reason why people should believe crazy people like Marina Abramovic when they do ritualistic things, because the intent behind it makes it real. And so here's another thing. I think I talked to you guys about this maybe before too, but I don't understand why people understand the I guess the inner workings of manifesting something when they're like, I'm manifesting money, I'm manifesting a new house, I'm manifesting me a new car, like I want a Lamborghini. Like, you know that your intent works in the world, right? And people always are positive about it. If positive intent works, then so does negative intent. Like,
well, you're saying you don't understand that, but we've all had these conversations before, no matter what you're believing in religiously. And it's a hard sell for a lot of people, especially Americans, to really believe what people can do with the devil's work versus what God and angels. It's like, it's all the same when you're looking at it from that aspect of, if you believe in this, you would have to believe in that. And if this is real, then that means this is real. So,
I'm a strong believer in balance. So if there is light, there has to be darkness. If there's good, there has to be bad. That is just like a thing. And the other thing, I know we're going to switch gears because I don't want to talk too much on it, but
our final thoughts on this.
Yeah. So there's one last thing I want to touch on is her, Marina Abramovic and pedophilia, because there's this photo that she did for a photo shoot of her hand over a little boy who's clearly, you can't tell if he's completely naked because he's just shirtless in the fucking picture, but he's definitely a little boy. He's got to be like,
and it ain't her boy.
It ain't her boy, 7 or 8 years old. And so that she has a significant amount of work artwork where it's a bunch of kids either tied up in diapers, looking away, something is happening to them. And it makes me like my tummy turns when I see this artwork.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of when somebody a long time ago, and I'll have to like try to find the pictures and put it on our Triangl Instagram page. Follow that if you haven't. We're gonna have really different content up as we're kind of switching gears. If you listen to us since we come back, you've seen that we're basically doing our creepy, spooky conspiracy.
And we tend to get a lot of likes with that too. So we're
y'all like it, so we gonna,
you guys like our spooky shit.
But Michael had some really disturbing drawings out where you could tell some type of sexual abuse or something happened beyond what the industry did to him. Because I still believe LaToya to this day that their father did something else to them other than
I'm with you on that one too.
I believe her. I don't feel like that's something that anybody would need to lie for an interview or attention about.
Yeah.
But anyway, your final thoughts, Dimitri.
Yeah. Let's go. You said what?
My final thought? All this shit is fucking creepy. It's creepy as fuck. I will try to avoid that art as much as possible.
Can you? Because where you work is full of natty nat stuff. Full.
Yeah.
Love that
it is full of natty nat, but it's more blanketed. Like that shit with the kid, that shit just fucked with me. That shit really did something.
That kid wanted to like, just knowing, like, even I believe, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on it, but I think people like John Podesta and Hillary Clinton and them have those kids' artwork that she did in their homes. Like, why?
And they were all tied to the same pizza.
Yeah, they were.
And that pizza place had some weird ass art in it. Not what I want to have with my personal pan.
I don't want to eat ice cream with my kids and eat pizza with my kids looking at those art pieces.
Like, I'm good.
Just
anyway, close us out, CJ.
Oh my gosh. So all in all, I think it would be interesting if we can get some feedback on people. If you've come across weird shit and events that you've, like Dee said, he came across one in LA or something. In LA, where they were doing spirit cooking. Like, have you guys actually came across anything like spirit cooking or artwork that made you like, what's wrong with this fucking artist? Anything like that? We'd like to hear back from you, or come on our show as a guest and tell us all about it. Don't forget to subscribe to your favorite podcast platform so you can hear us out. If you are watching us, which I recommend, YouTube is a lot better. So watch us on YouTube. And if you are already, thank you. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get all of our episodes. We're back on track. Thursdays at noon Central. And then on Fridays, we have our sex angle at 7 p.m. Central for your little fun, sexy Friday night conversations that you can have with your partners.
Fun and sexy.
I'm just fun and sexy. I'm just saying, we because we don't hold nothing back. Nothing. Everything is a go for
letting go.
So, disclaimer, not our song, not our lyrics, not our melody. Anyways, you guys stay safe, stay woke, stay blessed and logical out there. If you're oh my god, if you're black, stay black. If you're not, make sure you support POCs and Allies Unite. I don't know why they won't stop doing this at the very end of our show. Anyway, on that note, we'll catch you guys next time.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Bye.
Bye.